Here goes a test recording just to make sure that the gain and everything is where it's supposed to be. How are you, Alvatross?
What the hell's up with that announcer voice? He's just like,
Hey, how you doing? My name's Juhadre.
That's what I do. That's what I do. It's part of my persona. Hello, everyone, and welcome to JuPodRe, the conversational podcast with absolutely no roadmap. And everyone, as of December 22nd, 2020, the #1 podcast in terms of video games in Zimbabwe.
oh man, I was gonna add to that, but I just laughed. I'm like, we don't even talk about video games.
I am Juhadre.
I'm Alvatross17.
And I'm Blien, and I do like talking about video games.
Oh, you're right.
Well, you also like talking technology, right?
Yes.
Because today, we have a topic about technology. It is funny. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, Blien. You know that there are different types of fans, right?
Yes.
Okay. What is this?
That is a fan.
It's a
RGB.
360, right?
Yep.
That's what you call it? Juhadre didn't know that that's what that was. When I was saying I got a 360 fan yesterday, he actually thought that I got a 360 radiator.
No,
It's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
But just so people know, you can get 3 fans in one. And I recommend it because there's only one fan connector and one RGB connector. So it frees up your motherboard.
So while we're showing the camera here on just audio, it's a combination of 120 millimeter fans in a single unit.
Yeah.
And you can order a 360, which is just the 120s.
Now, did you know you can get a 480?
I didn't know this existed, so no.
I don't know if a 480 exists. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I would imagine you could find it somewhere.
Hey, you know what? I just bought a full size chassis, and this isn't even hit the top and bottom when you plug it in.
Mm-hmm.
They're huge.
So I want to say that I have known that the number existed, and when you and I were talking about it, instead of a radiator, also when you told me it was a 360 fan, I was like, dude, that is massive.
Okay, I get what you're saying, because they do have there are some cases you look at it and you're like, that is a huge fan in the front. What is that? Just an actual 240?
Yeah.
Or 280? Is that what it is?
I think it's a 280.
Is it a 280?
I'm pretty sure.
It's a huge.
Yeah.
And they always say it brings in more airflow. Yes, it does. But holy crap, that thing's huge.
Yeah, and so when you were saying, yeah, I got a 360 fan, I was like, my gosh, man, what?
Yeah, it's funny because when anybody says that, I think that. I go, you got 3 100, you got a 3x1 120.
And see, when we were talking about it, what did we say? It was a 120x3 is what we decided.
120 times 3 in one.
Yeah.
But
I love it, man. I'm gonna start looking for that now.
I hate the fact that when you plug in fans, you got to go, okay, I got this fan here. Okay, now I got a fan down here. Does it reach?
Mm-hmm.
No, now it's like, I only got one fan connector to connect in. So,
yeah. Interesting facts. I believe on my first computer, the case came in with a fan on the large side.
Mm-hmm.
That was like 360 or bigger.
Yeah, you can get some huge ones because you get some really wide. Cobalt, he had a really wide case.
Oh, he did. Yes, I remember that now.
All the cable management and the power supply went on the back side where the cable management would normally go on an ATX case.
It was white, and it had that nice glass top on it. It looked like...
like one entire side was glass. And by one side, I mean like if you cut it in half, that's one side was glass, the other side was all like covered so you couldn't see the cabling, which is beautiful. But the case I just got has a curved glass. They said it was actually a pain in the ass to do, but they were very proud of it, and I'm like, yeah. But another thing I wanted to bring up with this fan is, so most ARGB comes with a 3-pin connector because it's got room for 4 holes. One of them's filled in with just the rubber. But this case that I'm getting is the Cosmos C700M. Look it up. It's beautiful. They have an actual RGB controller in it, but it's from the pictures and videos, it is all 4-pin.
Mm-hmm.
And as I learned this week, you cannot turn a 4-pin into a 3-pin.
At least not so easily.
No. I mean, you can physically turn it into a 3-pin, but it will not work. I wanted to try it, so I was like, I'm not going to mess up my motherboard. I'm going to mess up my extender that is like $5. I can get a new one. And I didn't unplug the fan on the other, because it's actually a splitter, so it goes from 1 to 3. And I forgot my cheap-ass fan that's right there.
Uh-huh.
Was plugged in, and now I don't have green LED on that one anymore. I crossed the pins while I was plugged in. Oops.
Yeah.
But anybody wants to call me an idiot, call me an idiot. I'm an idiot. But let's think about it. Who tries things like that? A lot of us try stupid stuff.
Well, right.
That's how we learn.
Exactly. And
man.
when you were telling me about this, it reminded me that when I got my setup and I built it, I am really, really sure, like high 90s on this % sure that they sent me a converter. See, and like I have multiple little 4x4 pin things that I can plug in and either extend or convert. I swear I have them, and I didn't get a chance to look for them last night.
I've looked. I can find it where it goes 3, or like let's say you got a 3-pin on your motherboard, but you can convert it to a 4-pin because that 4th pin is a ground. Or at least that's what I read up on. I didn't look too far into it. But then I just can't find one that goes, oh, you got a 4-pin on your motherboard? Well, let's convert it to a 3-pin. I can't find that one. So I can't find 4-pin to a 3-pin converter. There's got to be something out there.
I agree, but now that you're mentioning it, I'm pretty sure it was 3 pins on my board, and I had a little dongle that stuck on that had the 4, and then that's what reaches all my fans. I need
That's
to take
not what
it
I need.
apart
I need
now.
a 4 to a 3.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I need to take that apart now. Like, I wanted to anyway, because I want to add a couple more drives to my setup.
And clean it.
It doesn't really need all that much cleaning.
Oh, I love cleaning my PC. Okay, back up. My radiators collect so much dust. They just do.
Yeah.
So when you go in there, you start to blow it, and it just goes just cloud of dust. It's just gross.
I cleaned my server the other day.
Actually, speaking about servers, I'm thinking about taking my server apart and just sticking it, because I'm going to have 12 3.5 bays.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because I'm getting a full chassis. Don't ever go with a mid. Just my recommendation, if you're going to build a PC, go full, because you'll have all the room you want to do whatever you want. You won't in a mid. And if you don't want a full, go micro and just be a badass. So you have something to like, dude, check this out. This toaster is my computer.
I want to agree with you on that, because the amount of work that goes into managing and fitting everything in a mid chassis,
Yeah.
it's worth it to do it in the smaller one, because it's just as much work, but it looks better in the smaller form factor.
Yeah, I agree. So when I built mine, I would bring it over here, but I really don't want to. I actually had to cut. So I can put 2 120 fans. Actually, I can put 2 140 fans on top. That's what it says. But what they don't tell you is, well, that's also if you don't want to plug in your motherboard's power supply. That's in the top top left corner when you're looking
your
at
CPU power.
Is that CPU power?
Yeah, the small one on the top.
The small
is
one on the top
CPU.
is that it's the 24 pin. That's the motherboard.
Yeah,
that's
on the
right.
side.
Okay, back up. Yeah. So I had to cut a corner of my 2x120 fan. Yeah. So it's that.
I think that's built for a different motherboard. There's motherboards that have it in a different place.
Yeah, mine's just the normal gigabit Aorus, but all of them have it in that spot. It's a very smart spot. It's kind of out of the way of everything.
Most motherboards that I have seen do have it in that top left corner, right behind your I/O panel.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've seen one somewhere else, but it would be really cool if they put it not there.
Wait, do you remember my HP Omen PC?
I do remember that.
That had the stupid motherboard.
Okay.
Yeah, I know exactly about that stupid motherboard.
That's right, because I sold that to Moose, and you had to help him with it.
Yeah.
It looks backwards, but it's really not. It's just set up different.
It's a BTX is what it's called.
No, it's not.
Was it not?
When you looked at it, it's just because it's backwards. it's an ATX board. It is. It's just it's not a full ATX board. It's a mini ATX, but they put everything in a different spot. But the one thing that is normal is what
are the PCI slots and the RAM slots parallel?
I don't remember.
Because if they are, it's BTX.
I'd have to look it up again.
That's what BTX is.
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up again. But yeah, I hated that PC. Let's just go back to I don't remember. It might have been a BTX. I hated that PC. Yeah. They built a gaming PC that only had one fan pulling air out, and it got hot way too fast.
Agreed.
It's a board that is a HP exclusive.
It's the I think it was the Odyssey K.
Oh well, I don't think I've remembered a pre-built motherboard that I've ever owned.
It was because I was looking it up to see what I could do to like make it better, and everything I kept looking at was like, this thing sucks. But it was decent. It did the job I needed to do. But then when I started actually doing more serious stuff, instead of just like, oh, I'm just gonna play a simple game like Diablo or something that didn't really take much thought process in it. But then when I started using key bindings and having the mouse controller and having all that, and then when I was starting to use starting to stream a little bit because people were like, what are you doing right now? So I was like, oh, here, watch what I'm doing. But then I was also playing even more bigger games. Like what was there was a specific game that really just I was like, wow, I really need to get a new PC now.
Was it the Deep Rock Galactic? You guys were playing that one pretty heavy.
Was
right
that
before.
the one No, it wasn't. No.
Destiny?
No. It was one that was very graphics intense. It was the Outer Worlds. It was the Outer Worlds. It was graphically intense. So my graphics card decided to spin up, and it got really hot in there because I had the RGB set to the front to set to the temperature. And it was starting to get orange, so not quite red, but it was. I was like, wow, that's getting hot. And then I go back and film. I was like, that's really hot air. Cleaned it out, helped it out a little bit, but not enough airflow.
Would it still get up to orange every time you spun it up?
Not quite as much, but it also helped when I opened the door because I had it in a little cubby. But
yeah,
that and the case isn't very
that case had bad airflow because it had so say
okay.
Say this was a PC, okay? This is the front of the PC, back, okay? Typically you'd open up this side. That's an ATX. Mine opened up on this side with the motherboard facing that way. But what happened was I had one fan, I'm going to go back right here, and it was a little dinky, not even a 120.
Probably an 80.
I think it was an 80. And I had, so again, front, I had one little vent port right here that brought in air, but my CPU was up here. And my graphics card's right here. So this air is going in here and coming out here, and it's not even going up, blowing this stuff out and then coming in. So I wasn't even doing that. No, it was ridiculous.
So for those of you who can't see what he was pointing at, basically the air totally missed all the key components.
Where the side vent to the rear airflow was not a good position because it wasn't blowing air past those components.
Which is why I have been in the full tower since my earliest build.
Seriously, I want to go full tower because I'm going to put my radiator up top with air pushing out, not pulling out. I'm going to push it out.
Okay.
And then I'm going to have one fan in the back because you might as well have one fan in the back. It's just good to have with the 360 fan right in the front blowing across everything.
Would it surprise you guys to know I don't have a back exhaust fan?
Wouldn't surprise me. I know a lot of people that actually don't because they just rely on the push effect.
Yeah.
So that's not my reason, but it makes a lot of sense. I air cool everything in my machine.
Yeah.
It's all air cooled. I don't trust myself to run liquid cooling. Even with the AIOs, I know that multiple people have told me, dude, it's like hermetically sealed. You can't break it.
Yes, you can.
I'll find a way.
Yes, you can. You can break that.
So I really want to do water cooling, but again, I can't trust myself to do it quite yet.
No,
so I have air.
You know what? Let's solve your problem, okay?
Oh boy.
Let's just get the anti-static liquid. You just stick your whole system in.
I'm not gonna ever.
I've always wanted to try that.
I don't.
I would.
Oh.
Would you do that?
No.
That'd be freaking awesome. I saw somebody that did that, but put it like I don't know if it was CGI or not, but it looked like it was in an aquarium, and I was like, if that fish flies, if that fish goes really close to that fan, he's dead.
So it wasn't. I think it was the Game Tyrant Expo when. Right after I did the casting for the first time I was with Game Tyrant, we got competitive passes as kind of our payment.
Okay.
And so we got to go and compete in the League of Legends match, and they had Mainframe. It's a local high-tech computer builder, and they had some of those really big rigs, fully, like you said, in like aquariums and stuff. And just looking at it, I was like,
but it's like
I will never do that.
It's super sketchy because it's like an anti-static liquid.
Yeah.
It's not actually water.
It's non-conductive, I think that we need to say. It's not necessarily anti-static, it's non-conductive.
Anti-static's a word we use a lot at work.
Yes,
so I should stop there. Yes, it's a non-conductive liquid, so it's like modified water.
Yeah, I don't ever
maybe
intend to
what
do
they did
that.
is they reversed osmosis.
So anyway, the reason I don't have a back exhaust fan is because my CPU cooler has a fan on each side of it.
I had one of those.
Yeah, so it sucks it in, and then there's another fan on the other side that blows it out. And the gap between where an exhaust fan would be and the other fan on my heatsink is probably about as wide as a fan. It's like 6 millimeters.
I had the same thing, but I had that big ACT 800 by Oris, which everybody said does a damn good job. And I admit, it did a good job, but not when it's already blowing hot air, because it's hot as balls in this room.
That is correct.
Because this office gets the hottest in the entire apartment. So that's why I went with water cooling. And again, I did the all-in-one, and yes, you can rupture that. As Juhadre and I know, there's stuff called bend radiuses with cables and pipes and conduit and everything. So yeah, no, I'm actually not even close to what that bend radius is. So very happy that I understand that.
It is a good thing to understand.
It really is.
So this is actually a great opportunity to talk about something that I found based on some YouTube videos that I watched. Have you heard of Cable Mod?
No.
It's a company that makes cables for your internal components. So when you get a modular power supply, it comes with all your cables. They can build you custom colored and patterned cables.
So that's like the company that makes those ones that have like the lighting effect going into the cable from like.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get those.
So I've seen those. I just didn't know that was the. I need to spend more money now.
And that's exactly why I wanted to bring it up. Is I want to so badly spend the money on this thing.
Oh man.
Because guys, I will show you after the podcast just how ridiculously awesome this tool is. It's amazing.
Let's see. There are only 2 things in my PC that don't have RGB. 2 things. My processor.
Okay, are we really counting that?
And the power supply, which is bad because the power supplies now you can get them with RGB.
Yes. Let me ask you this. SSD?
Fuck.
Sorry, man. I guess it's 3.
I have 2 M.2 and NVMe drives. Not Samsung Evos. Not a Samsung fan. I was like, I have this giant Samsung monitor right here. No. I'm not a Samsung component fan. But then also I do have a 3.5 HDD in there. That's not RGB as well.
So here's a question for you guys. Did you guys know that there's a company that makes a block that extends your power supply so it's really close to everything that needs to plug into it? So instead of running a foot or a foot and a half to go places, it's just right up there at the top, and it's basically a 4-inch. It pops through the side of the wall right out by where you plug in your CPU, and you just have this little tiny 4-inch.
The shorter
run.
cables.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Hmm.
I can't remember what company I saw that makes it, but it's just like.
Well, the PC, the case I just got is fully modular because it's a square chassis.
Yeah.
So I can do any build I want. I was watching a video on it, and he puts the power supply at the top, and I was like, hey, that's old school. And he goes, yeah, you could totally do this if you want to go old school. And I'm like, I would never put the power supply at the top. I don't like that. I don't like that. But I was like, oh, hey, that's old school. It's just what it reminded me of.
Yeah, I strongly discourage power supplies at the top. I, however, am not an enthusiast nor a creator nor anything like that. Just in my experience, having it on the bottom is better. It always will be in my eyes.
I can agree, but there's one problem I see with it. Is there's a fan on the bottom and yours is on the floor.
Yeah, well. It's no worse than having it above all my hot components, and then it's sucking in hot air.
True. See, that's
my
very
biggest
true, because that does get hot. It does. I only say that to make fun of people because they say not to put your PC on the ground because it does suck up stuff from the floor.
Yeah, but it's the only thing that's been on that floor, so...
We know what to get him for his birthday. A little plastic piece to put on the floor.
I used cardboard.
Oh, Blien, please. You make me so sad.
You can't even tell it's there, but it creates the space that I need.
Yeah, but it's cardboard.
I do use a little cardboard box for my router for the same reason. It's wide enough that it sits on the two edges of the cardboard of the box, so it has this big old air pocket, because it gets hot. My router gets hot. It's a poor old thing, and it just... Yeah. I don't like it.
I was actually using my wife's Bankstra. If anybody knows what it is, it's just a stool her dad made. And she actually got mad that I was using that.
Call it a Bankstra?
That's actually what it's called.
Really?
Yeah.
I
didn't believe anybody until I looked it up, and that's what that's the proper name for it. It's a Bankstra.
Huh.
Yeah. I hate that they call them that. I'm like, it's a stool.
It's a stool.
It's a stool. It's a step stool. We're in America, not Germany.
Yeah. All right.
I think it's German.
It's a German word.
Probably. My father-in-law's part German.
Well,
he tries to make people let people know that by using certain words. And I'm like, you don't sound smarter. You just sound like an asshole.
I was gonna say a little bit of pretentious feel coming.
I mean, I like him, but I was like, okay,
all right.
But
well then, thank you, Alvatross, for leading us in that technology-based conversation. I had a lot of fun. I think that was great.
I love talking technology.
As do I.
Yeah.
But now let's talk about other things with
What the F.
Hey, this is Blien reminding you to check out SoesicGaming.com for quality clothing and other swag. Go check them out and use code JuPodRe on checkout for an additional 15% off.
Right?
Right.
Were you going to go somewhere else with that?
No, that was literally it. But
okay.
It looked like you were going to say it. This is one of the benefits of being in the same room, is I saw you lift your arms up, and I just immediately stopped because you said, what the F? And so I like it.
Well, last week we had 3 nominations, as usual, because, D-Mac's not very supportive.
Yikes.
Anyway, they were Juhadre's radio story number 2, Witchcraft, and The Dart Missed the Mark. Okay, so out of those, who do you think won?
The Dart Missed the Mark.
I accidentally looked at it a little earlier today because I've been doing a little bit, through the week. Like, I found some stuff by Soesic that I liked and retweeted. I kind of branded ourselves. They said, hey, look at this new hoodie. And I said, use code JuPodRe at checkout. Is that legal? And I've kind of left it up there unabashedly.
Hey,
so
if they didn't come back on us.
Yeah,
we asked a question.
Yeah, and so I accidentally saw it today when I opened Twitter, so I can't.
All right, well, it was actually a tie between Juhadre's radio story number 2 and The Dart Missed the Mark.
I am going to say that by default, that gives The Dart the win because it wasn't my actual story. So congratulations, Albatross.
Okay, cool. We'll go with it was mine. So I will go first this week.
All right.
So let me pull it up so I can notate what it's going to be. Okay. So mine's actually not my specific story. I've been doing nothing but work the past week. So this is the best story I've got.
Yeah, I feel you, man. That's
Yeah,
literally what
right?
happened to me.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to get into that. Anyway, so my wife and I, when we get our child dressed today, we're going to call him Monkey still. When we get him dressed, we try to have him dress himself. Sometimes it doesn't work. So we'll hand him stuff, but we'll give it to him, but in a way that that like the front's forward and like back, or like it's on the floor, like when he put his pants on, trying to get him to realize, oh, okay, yeah, this is how it is. So if he goes, but that doesn't look right. So today he fought my wife and he wanted to get himself dressed. He didn't want any help.
Oh.
So she was like, fine. She left him alone. He put his clothes on. She went to check. He got everything correct except his underwear.
Uh-oh.
And he refused to allow her to rotate his underwear. I went to pick him up from my in-laws today because that's who watches him. And for those who were curious about that fight, it didn't go any further than that. But I noticed his underwear was a little low because normally it's like riding up and he's got it like all bunched up at the top of his waist because it's like giving him a wedgie and he doesn't know how to pick it out yet.
I think that's pretty typical for 3
rides up him. So I was like, what? So I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, they're still backwards. He's had them backwards all day because he hasn't let anybody turn him around.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm just like, dude, that's got to be so uncomfortable. Yeah. So I just laughed. So mine is, what the F, dude? Just let me turn him around.
I like that a lot.
It's just funny because my wife was like, I'm not even going to argue. Fine, wear him. Wear him. Because she said she tried talking about it, but he refused.
Well, there you go.
And this is 2021. You got to have consent. Again, I'm not the parent that thinks you have to have consent for everything, because sometimes when they need a bath, you give them a bath.
Yeah.
Anyway, Blien, what do you want to call that?
Monkey face?
Has nothing to do with a monkey, though.
Well, he's
No
the
face.
monkey. Maybe no face. I don't know. There's an old word, skivvies. Monkey skivvies. That'd be weird. I honestly don't know what would...
Skivvies would be... I like just the word skivvies.
Okay.
Skivvies.
Skivvies?
Skivvies.
Yeah, just skivvies.
Just that...
Skivvies ...
That reminds me of the shreddies.
I actually just sent that to a friend of mine. Because we were showing each other some weird crap. And he was like, what have we come to in this world? And I was like, I know. So I sent him that, and I waited, because you know when you go to a website, it's got the top thing that always rotates as you're looking.
Yeah.
Well, I waited for that picture, then clicked on it to zoom in, took a snapshot of that, and then I sent him the website, and he goes, we're all going to hell.
Well, especially with
How do you spell
backward under.
skivvies?
Skivvies.
Is it VV?
I think it's two V's.
Oh, well,
Otherwise,
there's
it'd be Skyvies.
3 different ways to spell it. You can do it with a hyphen or no hyphen, but there are 2 V's.
Woohoo!
So I'm going to go no hyphen, because I hate hyphens.
Well,
I think it's
For
because
good
there was that
reason.
whole generation where everybody was hyphenating their last name.
yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm with you
if
on
you're
that.
famous, I'm okay with it, because you need to keep your last name. But if you're just like, no, I'm just going to add his name to mine, I'm like, just get over it. Anyway, that's my opinion.
All right, so that's one story down.
Okay, I'm
Who's
going to go
next?
with Blien.
Okay.
You caught him in a yawn.
So I have 2. Okay, pick a number between 1 and 2.
4. 2.
2?
2.
Okay. We're going to go with the one I have a picture for.
Okay.
That will
So
post this
I
time.
was...
I apologize to him while
He
you were in
sent
the
it
other
to
room.
me, and I even said Saturday when I posted the vote, I was like, on Monday morning, I'm going to post this and say, hey guys, for those of you that listen on start your week with listening to podcasts on Monday, don't forget to listen. Here's the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot.
Okay, so I was on my way home, and I was just looking around like I normally do. Sometimes I get weird looks from people, because I look at people in other cars just briefly, just like, what's over there, what's over there. And I saw this. It is a
The
pickup
hell was that
truck.
noise?
It's a movie, I think.
Oh. Okay.
It is a pickup truck with a shell on it that seems to have been crushed.
Mm-hmm.
And then whoever's truck it is, instead of,
I can't stop looking at it.
replacing the shell, they decide to buy, in my opinion, what would be an equivalent amount of lumber in cost.
Mm-hmm.
And
I saw it earlier.
Oh, DIY project.
fixed their shell with lumber. Looks like 2x6s and 4x4s.
I was about to say it looks like 4x4s to me. When he was like, "Yeah, this have I shown this before?" earlier when you were in the other room, and I was like, "Nah, I would have remembered this."
I find it funny when people mod their cars like that.
Yeah, that is reminiscent of the Astrovan that we posted a few months ago.
Yeah.
And
Somebody turned into a convertible.
yeah, what the F was that? Like, I'm with you, but that's a lot of lumber.
You know what's funny is the back of that from that picture. That lumber looked like a good job.
So it's funny because you're right. The lumber and the frame that they built to hold up the crushed shell looked better
good.
than the shell.
It actually looked pretty good.
The truck looks like crap,
Yeah.
but they have this really awesome frame in there. It's very nice, very well done.
And it doesn't look like they're using the lumber for anything else.
No.
The inside is empty. They don't have shelves built on it.
Nope.
They don't have stuff hanging on it. It's just a new frame.
It's very funny. I'm very happy with that. I think that's great.
There's a TikTok this dude does. It's become just a sound that people have just saved, but I will post it on Twitter if I can find it. But it's like, what in the down south Alabama cousin fucking like bullshit, like something tarnation is this?
Oh.
And it's just hilarious. And that's what it reminds me of. Because it's always these car mods that people do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what the hell?
It's something you'd see on the Red Green Show. Like,
oh my
honestly,
gosh, I
that's what it
haven't
is.
watched that in forever.
I'm remembering he had.
They came on right before Red Dwarf.
Yes. I'll tell that story afterward when we're
Okay.
doing like our announcements and
Okay.
stuff.
Blien, what do you want to call this?
I'm thinking must be a contractor.
You're not wrong. He must be, or they must be. Who the heck
That's
knows?
actually really funny. Okay. And I'm Alvatross.
Yes, you are.
Juhadre.
I am very pleased that this week all three stories are just amusing things that we have encountered over the week. And this one in particular, I went to go help a friend move. He lives very far away from me.
That guy.
That guy.
Okay.
It was an hour drive, and luckily he followed the rule. So I left my house at 9 a.m. on Saturday.
Yay!
Yeah. He's like, we're meeting at 10. I said, perfect. That follows the rule.
This is funny.
So I left, and as I was going to turn onto the freeway, I saw a vehicle which is relatively common in Utah. You know, where people put plows on the front of their trucks or their four-wheelers and a big tub of salt?
Yeah.
I saw that on an Altima-sized sedan.
What the hell?
They had they had a snow plow and a container of salt with a dispenser on the back of their small, I think it was a Saturn 4-door little car.
Why?
I don't know.
First off, that car's not meant for that.
No, it's
No.
not.
And it's a front-wheel drive car, if I'm not mistaken.
I would not know, but I'm pretty
That's
sure you're
gonna
right.
Take all the weight off the wheels that are supposed to be pushing the snow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw it, and I was like, that's going on the list. Because that is funny.
God, I wish I would have had car mod. I'm just thinking of everything I've seen with cars lately.
So yeah.
Were they actually using it at the time too?
No, it was not snowing.
Okay. Damn.
I wish. I genuinely and sincerely wish they had been, because that would have made the story infinitely better.
Actually seen him use it.
Was it a do-it-yourself job, or did it look like it was...
I was passing them with my light green as they had the way they were trying to turn left or something of the like. where they weren't moving and I had to go past. I couldn't stop and gawk.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, I would have put more detail into my looking. But I saw it, and I laughed, and I think it's one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Okay, and what do you want to call that?
That won't work.
Oh. So I went to sync OneNote, and it's just loading the page. It said sync error, so I said, do it again. Now it's like, sync, page synced. Now it's loading the page.
Yeah, I'm going to call that won't work.
Okay, let me just reload. Let me just reopen it. Okay, that won't work. You're not working either. Wait.
There's
JuPodRe.
There's an old joke in
Okay.
there somewhere about the brand of the phone.
Because it's Apple.
I didn't say it.
This is funny because like there's way more like app like development and support for Apple,
Mhm.
but it really does have a lot of problems with some apps because they're just like Microsoft
Mhm.
doesn't give a damn, and that's who makes OneNote is Microsoft.
Mhm.
Okay, mine was called Skivvies.
Yeah. Did you have to rewrite it?
Dude, it said synced and then it didn't sync. Yeah, Skivvies. Yours was
Must be a contractor.
must be a contractor. And then yours is that won't work.
Well, that's our recap, I guess.
That's okay. We'll just I'm just gonna leave it alone now. I got all three on there. Okay, I'll check my PC later. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so we got 3 nominations for this week. We just named them. To rename them, we've got Skivvies.
He must be a contractor.
Must be contractor. That won't work. Why did I just now forget those? That was hilarious.
I've done the
Anyway.
same thing.
So once this gets edited and uploaded, I will post the vote. You can vote. Well, we'll count the votes up until Wednesday, and we'll announce the winner. You can vote on Twitter. Leave us a comment with your vote. You can text us your vote for those DMAC that know exactly what our phone numbers are. Cobalt, so that you support us. However you want to get your vote in, we will find it. We will count it.
Very good.
That's all I got. What the F?
What the F? All right.
Okay.
Announcements?
So no, well, we got one more story before that. Unless we want to do announcements and then finish off with the story.
Either one.
Story first. Okay, you said you had one, right?
So you had a second what the F.
Yeah.
Is it quick?
Sure.
Okay, make it quick. Because I kind of now have a second what the F too.
So Nissan, I'm gonna call them out for being dumb.
Okay.
I'm trying to replace the radio on my car
Oh,
to
yeah.
put a better one in, and with all the development and research, I can find a good documents on one of the wiring harnesses that go into the back of the radio. I did not know that there was a totally separate second one at all. And I
Okay.
checked Nissan's website. I checked radio manufacturers'
Kenwood.
websites, and
Kenwood, yeah.
I couldn't find any more specific details. So I'm like, there's just one. There's a second one that I'm just like, what does this do?
That's right, because you're trying to get your buttons on your steering
Yeah.
wheel to work.
Yep, and I think it's for the buttons on the steering wheel, but I can't find anything that says what it is. And then the second thing about that is everyone says they have a proprietary connection for their USB, so you can use it that's in the console. I'm like, okay, I will buy the connection. It's just a micro USB.
Oh no.
The one that you bought? Or the one that's
No,
theirs?
the one that's in the car. It's a micro USB with a special little clip on the top. So,
And that's the Nissan one.
yeah, that's the Nissan one. And so I could have just bought a USB to micro USB adapter and just plugged it in. But no,
Probably would have been cheaper.
Yeah,
I had to buy the more expensive.
My brother-in-law just gave me this entire thing that plugs in the back in the new stereo,
Yeah.
and he just like popped out my cigarette lighter and put the next USB right there. I was like, thanks, man.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
So just pick your stuff,
Figure your stuff
Nissan.
out. So
Put out the information and just use a regular USB connection.
Probably. I'm with you on
okay,
that.
so the last story I have is I was going to Costco, and I walked in, and just like in a car, you don't stop in the middle of the road, right? You don't stop in the middle of the road.
Correct.
So this lady on her phone decides she's going to stop, okay? Right after where you showed him your card, and she stops right there. And I go, oh my gosh, don't stop in the middle of the aisle. And she goes, wow, rude. And I was just like, and I almost looked at her and said, no. This is the entrance to Costco. You don't just stop in the middle of it. You're holding everybody up so you can answer text. Move over like you would in a car. You don't just stop in the middle of the lane in your car. You get over. But I just walked past her, crop dusted her, and went to my day.
I think the crop dusting is the cherry on top.
I love crop dusting people. I had already had to go, and I was actually waiting to do it on one of the aisles so I could do it and then go around. So if anybody smelled it, they didn't see me. So I was like, I'm not gonna do it at the entrance because the worker right there. So, but I was like, nope. I let it out. I let it out. I did.
I am very pleased with this.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyway, that's my story. But that's not gonna be my with the F.
No. It was the other one.
Yeah.
So the red-green story.
Yep, that's right.
One of the car mods I remember him doing was he put a garage door opener with a small box with aluminum foil on it, so that when policemen are trying to radar gun you, it picks off the aluminum foil, which is moving the opposite direction of the car, and so it actually registers like 8 miles an hour slower than you're going.
I thought you were going to talk about the time when he was like, let's make this van look like chrome. So he put a bunch of duct tape and
one too.
Inside out potato chip bags.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that one too. But that I didn't remember that one when we were, the contractor in the Astro van. I was like, oh yeah, he made this box go around the roof of the car over and over so that if he got radar gunned, it would register as slower than he was actually going.
How did you see out of it? Because like going around the car, all I'm like it covers the windshield.
So the box is only about as big as my laptop.
Yeah.
And there was no windshield, there was no rear shield. It was just on this garage door opener chain that was constantly going through the center.
So he was just showing you, hey, you can fool this way. He didn't actually do it.
Well, he built it and he drove off in it. I don't know if he uses it constantly. I would doubt it.
I'm gonna have to go look this episode up.
Yeah, it was very, very funny.
I think it works because aluminum foil bounces back the signal a lot stronger than your car, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but he explains it, and it's very funny.
He's a very funny guy.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So on to actual announcements.
Okay, announcements. Right. Yes. I'm listening.
2 things.
Okay. Balls. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
There's 2 of them.
Episode comes out on Fridays. That means this episode will air the same day the North American LCS Spring Split starts. Yay!
For League of Legends, that's right.
For League of Legends. So go support TSM. Woohoo. Best team.
Oh, you're wearing your TSM shirt?
I am wearing my TSM shirt. I'm also wearing my Soesic hat. Go check them out. Code JuPodRe at checkout.
I'm wearing my Treyu hat. Go check them out. Treyu forever.
So anyway, if you're interested in League of Legends, the North American League of Legends professional games start officially on Friday, February 5th.
Yes.
Yeah, 5th.
It is the 5th because we're looking forward to the 5th.
Yes. Why?
Because we're going to a comedy club.
You are. That's right. Okay. I was like...
Yeah.
Blien got a ticket by default.
Yes. That's a very funny story.
Don't forget your ID. I will leave Moose at the door.
Next up, more League of Legends. The Game Tyrant Esports Winter Split 2021 will be starting February 13th. I will be casting that.
Is it a Friday?
It is a Saturday.
Ooh.
Games will be at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. You can find all that information in the description of this episode and the past 2. So that's all there. The next thing is I am going to...
That's 3. He only had 2, right?
What?
Is that 3?
3 what?
You were paying attention?
3 announcements?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this his 3rd?
Yeah, next would be a 3rd one.
Ooh.
I did only say 2.
You did say 2.
I did say 2.
That's
I
okay.
would like to add a 3rd if that's all right.
But wait, there's more.
I know that we we started out and are associated with and working very closely with Rated R Esports to bring you this podcast.
Are we? Because Torchy still, I don't know if he exists yet.
I am going to get with the manager of the League of Legends team and start announcing their games as well.
Nice.
So that everyone can go and watch and follow them. So there will be 3 different League of Legends scenes that people can follow. The amateur, the local here in Utah, and the official North American.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. I like it.
I like it too.
So,
I'm looking forward to it.
I have an answer. So, for the gamers, there is now a challenge this year in February that that 3 days we don't play video games. Okay? The 29th, the 30th, and the 31st. Did you see that?
I did not see it, but I approve.
That is actually a meme. That was it was funny.
I think I can follow that.
I can.
Yep.
All right, guys. Everyone raise your right hand to the square and say that you will follow it. So
I am a man. I will change if I have to. Or whatever he says. That's what came to mind. I am a man.
I can change.
I can change.
If I must.
If I must.
Maybe. Probably. Or something like it's some word like that. Most likely.
I don't remember. This is Red Green Show is an older show that's awesome and probably very offensive nowadays.
Probably. And with that, I think
adieu.
Thanks to everybody who joined us today on JuPodRe. We hope you had a great time, and we hope you join us next week. Don't forget to follow us on social media. On Twitter, we are at JuPodRe, at Juhadre, at Alvatross17, at Blien with 3 N's, and at Rated R LLC. We also have Instagram. Just look up any of our ats or at JuPodRe. Or hit us up on our Slink link. It's myslink.app/JuPodRe. Don't forget to vote for What the F. We hope to see you next week, my fatherlings.
let's do this test recording real quick. I have it going right now.
Oh, cool. This is me talking.
This is me talking.
I'm just finishing up a conversation.
Yeah. It'll be good.